Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday, it's May Day, and the only way to start the party is the Rapid Drivers Club way. Sponsored by Half Fast Gaming, it's a May Day parade to remember at Misano. Almost 40 teams with 2 drivers and 2 hours on track as teams from the world over combine and perhaps collide to bring us what promises to be endless edge of the seat action as our pre-qualified grid battle out to be crowned Mayday Parade Champion Supreme. Well, at least that's what I'm calling them. And calling the race alongside me, of course, will be Kane Denham.
Good evening, everyone.
As we attempt to keep track of the on-track action and guide you through the pit stops, driver swaps in this 2-hour endurance race event here at the stunning Misano Adriatico in Italy. As I mentioned, joining me as always in my outstanding endeavours to bring you all the action is my outstanding co-commentator. It is Kane Denham. How are we doing at 3 o'clock in the morning, Kane?
Fantastic, John. Hello again to everybody out there. We've got plenty of people in the chat here already. We'll run through those guys quite soon. Say g'day. We are, of course, here. G'day. We are, of course, here for the Rapid Drivers Club MayDay Parade, bringing to you the first endurance event here at RDC. And what a cracker we have lined up for you this afternoon. Grab yourself a pepperoni pizza and get comfy, because we're here at Misano for the next 2 hours, John, to cover all this action. Well, I'm sure we'll miss the race leader finish, as per tradition, but I cannot wait to get into the rest of this race tonight, John.
Vote of confidence appreciated and noted, my friend. Thank you very much. It is a fast-growing community for sure, and definitely many more events on the horizon. And there's been an absolutely amazing turnout of teams for today's race. Over 70 drivers in teams of 2. They've taken part in qualification already. That was spread over 3 days and concluded Wednesday, I believe, to give us our starting order, Kane, for today's extravaganza.
That is right. We do have over 70 drivers. You heard that correct. It's going to be one to remember for sure. We've got a couple of familiar names starting from those top 2 positions, John, in this 35-car grid. Yeah, a couple of names we know all too well.
Indeed. SOP Motorsports. That's Kane and I's usual haunting ground. As everyone knows, I am the self-declared voice of SOP. Self-declared being the most important part of that title. But it is SOP Motorsports locking out the front row of the grid, Kane, in 1 and 2. We've got Siamo Nel Chilling in 3rd, Fordzilla in 4th, and STE Racing Team are going to start today in 5th.
That's right, John. Following 5th is FSPT Team Denny. Then we've got the familiar name of Corn and Carrots there. A box from KTM will be starting from 8th position. JP Racing, 9th position there. And OTL Racing will be starting from 10th position.
Yeah, and just to give the guys, so SOP Esports, Team 1, it's Alex Phillips and Black Goldsaw. Remember the name Black Goldsaw. SOP Esports Team 2, it's actually Team 3 that's qualifying second. It's Sir Foch and Hubert Szymanski. Team 3 on the grid, Siamo Nel Chilling, is Filippo Borgazan, and Alberto Persico. We've got Kevin Scolari and Charlie Crossland in Fordzilla's team, and Matteo Baio, Federico Carrero in STE Team Racing. Let me fire through these because I know that Kane and I is out of order. He doesn't know what to do if it's not green. Danilo Ferrari. It's SFPT Team Danny. Daniel Capuzzo is in joining that team. FSPT in 6. Cornelius Filbinger and Renny Renedito, Corn and Carrots. We've got Marco Scatolo and Tommaso Sabia in a box from KTM. Jan Kaspovic and Paolo Mosquigeri in 9th for JP Racing. We've got OTL Racing as well. That's Joe LaCour and Kieran Sharp. We've got Dynamis Esports. That's Carlos Orloni and Nicolo Corrato. Brad Smoke, Garin Hambe. Smoked Ham. Mixed Wheels 959 Smoke and Ham. There in 12th. Kane's going to take over at 15th, I believe. So Fast VR. That's Sergio Toledo and Oscar Solis. STR Racing. STR Motorsports. That's Stan Franz and Tieco in 15th. That's mostly Mozzarella Motorsport. Tom Davidson and Daniel Clift. 15th, okay. 16th, sorry.
16th, John, is Brava Racing.
Ooh.
It is the Harris brothers, Jens and Kyle, teaming up today in 16th. In 17th position, we've got the number 2 SOP Esports Racing with Ian Egan and Adam O'Neill. Down in 18th position is the Slow Racing Team, Thomas Sarnowski and Radek Valeron. 19th, we've got Scuderia Charlie Firpo with Gabriella Gargona and Alessandro Formalgi.
Yeah,
struggling with these, aren't we,
yeah,
John? Yes.
no, you need a standing ovation.
Early.
You need a standing ovation for getting these out with this time in the morning. But Marcoleria team, that is David Salvatore and Federico Volpe. We've got Ian Holland, Pete Greaves, homeschool racer. He's in the team meet and one veg because they have a carnivorous member and a vegetarian member. Very clever. Up here for thinking, down here for dancing. We've got Julie Racing in 22nd with Ollie Moss and Joe Wright. We've got Team Shanassi, that is Tan Jeserman, and Bora not even going to massacre that one, sorry bud. Live Sim Racing Motorsport, that's David Lechantellier and Stephen David. 25th, that is the Wild Things Racing, Denise Pope and Evan Tafas. 26th, Kent.
Badly Drawn Apex with Chris Davies and Miko Rajakorpi. Team Stedjade, Enrico Tiochi and Leonardo Giordani. In 28th, we've got the Renegados, Moses Freitas and Eliza Martins. 29th, John, we've got Rono Racing, Alex Stefan and Christian Lian. And then in 30th, we have Live Sim Racing Motorsport with Benjamin Herman and Fabrice Dutro. 31st, John.
It's Blanks Racing with Harry Phillips and Jorge Phillips, and Flying Dutchies are in 32nd with Just Loon and Etienne Messland. Remember that name. Goro Motors are going to start in 23rd with Charlie and Fifi. Eastwind Racing are in 34th. Jackie Harris, no relation to the Harris brothers that started, of course, the RDC, but Jack Wilkins is in that team as well. Vasky Motorsports are joining us as well. That's Zan Zovinch and Rock Mori, and potentially we're going to see an entry from Orcola, Coca-Cola, Nicola Orta and Christian Colagrosso. So there we go. And of course, Team Carabambimba. I'm sure they called themselves that just to mess with you and I, Ken. They may well be making an appearance this afternoon as well. Well, let's see some on-track action, and let me just check what the next blue bit is. We are at Misano today, Ken, and what a track that is.
Yeah, guys are going to have the work cut out for them today, John. 16 turns, 4.2 kilometres, or 2.6 miles in the old language. Got a race lap record. Let's not forget, this is not the GT3. This is a race lap record of 1:23 set in the DTMs. 2019, that official race lap record there. We do have the GT3 record of 1:32.6, and that was set in 2020 in the Audi R8 LMS Evo. So just last year, John, and that time 1:32.6 is a real life time, and can look through our qualifying records here and can see our fastest driver on track for quite a bit. Set that fastest lap time to gain pole is Black Goldsaw, 1:32.280. So very, very, very fast driver there. Would be one to watch this evening for sure.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed it will be. That is an absolutely spectacular time. We've got some fantastic times, but it is an absolutely cracking lineup we've got, Ken.
Oh, you're not wrong, John. Like we say, there's over 70 drivers here, all itching at the bit to get out there and show us their stuff. So
yeah, there is some.
Cannot wait. We're going to have one opening lap to remember. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed we will. Indeed we will. 7 seconds separate the whole field. We have one driver, Black Goldsaw, 4 tenths ahead. of the rest of the field. We then have 11 cars that clocked in the 1 minute 33s. We then have 11 cars that clocked in at the 1 minute 34s. There was then 8 cars clocked in at the 1 minute 35s, and we had a car each in the 37s, the 38s, and the 39s. So, with a lineup like this and being as close as it is, 22 cars within a second and a half of one another and just behind the leader, that is a strength of field that is not often seen in sim racing, Kane.
No, John, that's right. We haven't even touched on the pit stops yet. So obviously we've got the two driver teams today. They will have that driver swap, have that 70-minute max stint time, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
So you and I ourselves have been running over some of these strategies that the guys might be employing today. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out. Might see a couple of 2 stops possibly. Sure, most of the teams out there will be trying for that 1 stop, but would be a strategy for sure. Get out of the traffic amongst it and get through your laps. So yeah, another one to watch as well, John, just the pit strategies today.
Yes, indeed. It will be very interesting. As you say, 75-minute driver stint maximum in a 2-hour race. So we will need to take on tyres and fuel at some point. We will talk about how long that takes during the race. We'll get to all the good bits, don't worry, there's still plenty to come. But the pit strategy will certainly be absolutely vital here. Very, very, very short track at 1 minute 30 and a field this long. It means we will see a lot of action early doors, and then as soon as the pit stops start, because, we'll give you a little clue, it takes about 70% of your lap to get in and out of the pits and change tyres. So with some very, very high speed straights, the pit strategy, finding clear track, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see. The drivers at the moment are in a driver briefing. We do have Martins out on track, giving us some laps in the Aston Martin. So thank you very much, Eliza. We will see a full formation lap and then a 2-hour race with either 1 or 2 pit stops per team, and it looks like Eliza has given up as well. Oh, and there we go. So we're coming up to the flying lap. Yes, indeed, Kate. Let me just very quickly do that. Right. And I'm just going to get this loaded up. There we go.
And John's playing around in the background there, so I'll take over here. Yeah, what an absolute stunning lineup. We do have some real speed out there at the moment, and ready for the next 2 hours. Will they be able to carry that speed through the whole 2 hours? Plenty of other variables, as we've touched on, coming into play today. The pit stops, the driver swaps, fuel strategies, tyre wear, possible fuel saving, tyre saving, potential back markers to come into the field. 35, sure to be a talking point at some stage, I'm sure, John.
Oh, on you go, sorry.
No, I was going to say all of the action is about to get started.
Indeed, all the action, all the talking points. We certainly won't be short of a topic or two. Our drivers will have their hands full, which we love, around this stunning Italian track. And given the times posted, as I said, we are going to see some absolutely stunning races. We're about to start the flying lap. The event is, of course, sponsored by Half Fast Gaming, and they are your go-to for all things American Truck Simulator modding, including instructions and high-quality mods available through Patreon. HFG is also newly affiliated with the SimGrid and are offering America's friendly racing times coming soon. Join the Discord and get all the up-to-date information. And certainly going to be a lot of up-to-date information coming our way today, Kane. 35 cars, 70 drivers. 3 o'clock in the morning. How on earth do you plan on keeping up with everything?
I have one very excited Scotsman on Mike next to me, and he has been prepped and warned. He's going to keep me well and truly awake. Let's not worry about that.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. He's certainly going to have his work cut out for him. Speaking of work cut out for him, we see the teams, and why is that running slow? Don't do this to me now. There's Black Gold Saw. 1 minute 32 is the time he set in that Bentley. He will be taking the team away, and it is an SOP front row lockout. Their esports team making quite a splash already, considering how new the team is. Some cracking drivers on board. And yeah, there's a close-up of Sir Fosh in the car. Let's get back to the camera it's supposed to be on. Voila! Filippo Borgensen, there we go. Guys, kind of a bit typed up. We're going to get a rolling start in a minute. We'll run through the grid. See a couple of guys missing on the grid. Is somebody... Oops. Yeah, no, saying 35 on the grid. We seem to have a couple of cars sitting slightly out of place. Let's hope there's no... Yep, he is still showing on the grid as well, although... That's a double entry as well. Okay. So, Kane, yeah, talk to me more about the track. 1 minute 32, so it's a short lap. Italian track. They broke ground 1970, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, John. Sorry, we'll just find some more. Yes, first races in 1972 there of August. You are correct. Broke ground in 1970, so a couple of years to get the track the way they wanted it. The guys head off on their formation. Capacity here, crowds, obviously not through COVID, 60,000 odd. Surprisingly enough, but they managed to squeeze just over 100,000 in here for the MotoGP 2016 race day. So
wow,
60,000, but a little bit of room extra to sneak in, of course.
Okay, so it's just a different name on the screen. Sorry, okay, I was just panicking there. We've got a double entry for some reason. And it doesn't quite match up with what I've got on the broadcast here, so it could be make for some interesting comedy during the race. It is a fairly short lap. Let me just double check and make sure. We got the game sound. There we go. Make sure that we didn't drown out the intro, but we did in fact get it on in time. Fabulous. Hi to everyone watching, by the way. It's going to be a 2-hour race. If you're watching on whatever platform, I don't have access to any of the chats at the moment. But hello. How you all doing? Say hi in the chat. Who do we think is going to win? It's a 2-hour race, and at the moment it's an SOP lockout. Black Gold Saw and Sir Fosh. Borgesan in 3rd, Scully 4th, Carrera in 5th, Ferreira in 6th, Renandito 7th. We've got Scatola 8th. No way I'm getting through all these before the start of the race. Not one piece anyway. Jola Course in 10th. Zorlone is 11th. Hamby in 12th. There's Solis in 13th. Franz is going to start in 14th. Davidson in 15th. Ian Egan 16th. The other SOP team. Sarnowski in 17th. Fumagalli in 18th. There's Pete Greaves in 19th position. Ollie Moss is in 20th with Bora in 21st. Herman starting in 22nd. There's Denise Pope in 23rd with Chris Springbuck Davies in 24th. Leonard Leonardo Giadone is in 25th with... Now this is the one. Why is that doing that? Never mind. Alex Steffen then is starting in 26th with Eliza Martins. Yes, in 27th. Harry Phillips is in 28th with Houston in 29th. Charlie DeFore is going to be the team driver, starting in 30th with Zovinic in 31st. Oh, is the race started? No, it's about to go. They're coming around the last corner. Didn't quite get to the end, but I do not want to miss the start of this race day weekend. They're coming around the last corner now. I was about to throw you right under the bus. As for a prediction, but hold on to that thought as we see Black Gold Saw revving. Are they coming in? Oh, so this is the last corner they're coming in now. That's how excitable I'm getting. 2 hours. We're going to jump on. Is Helicam the one that we want? I think it is. We'll jump on about the middle of the field so we can just see Gold Saw at the front there. And we'll see the lights turn green. Whatever MayDay extravaganza. There are the green lights. The orange car. Oh, and there's a contact already into the pit wall. We've got a Lamborghini down there and a lot of brake checking, or sorry, a lot of bunching up in the middle. It's a clean getaway for Black Gold Saucer. Foch though is instantly bogged down with 2 cars straight behind him. I tell you what, that is a big old group of cars in the background there. That one is going to be fun to keep an eye on. Absolutely no idea who's doing what where. That's an SOP car right in the middle though. Solace and Hambay seem to have gotten through as well. Boraz coming through on the back as well. Has Charlie DeFore made it through? So we have a big chunk of the field that's made it through. Absolutely no way of keeping track of what happened there with the timing boards. But Foch is still hanging on to second place. He's got another Ferrari of Scully and another Ferrari tucked in behind him, and then a 4th Ferrari. It's Ferrari him in here. There's Scatola, and just in behind is Carrera then. So I believe it might have been Carrera. No, it wasn't Carrera. Carrera's in the STE Racing, so it was the car just in front. It's showing a Scatola at the moment, but I don't think that is. That is a Lamborghini. That's Joe LaCour. So it was Joe LaCour hit the pit wall then. We're seeing moves in the background then, side by side. This is not the place to make an overtake, and definitely thinks better of it. So Ian Egan holds on to 13th place at the moment. Pete Greaves looked like he was getting into a bit of bother there, but he is still hanging on. Side by side action all the way down to Rory. Oh, we see a bit of a move up the inside. Oh, and a bit of contact in. Oh, and a double contact there. So someone got collected. Oh, and side by side into that turn. Wow. Action all over the place, Ken. Absolutely no way I can keep up with what's going on. I don't know if you are, but Eliza Martins is going side by side now. In the background, sorry, that's Just Loon then. Going side by side, Charlie DeFore up the inside. Oh, and a bit of contact in the background with that Ferrari. Tell you what, they've settled in up at the front, but it is all action all the way through the field, Kane. And there's positions going left, right, and centre. And Sir Foch, the man in second place at the moment, has definitely not got a comfortable run at the moment, with Scully and Borgeson very close in behind in the early stages here.
Yeah, absolutely cracker start, John. Guys have kept it relatively clean off that opening lap, and a couple come together there. Not too bad at all. A couple of early movers there at the moment. Just trying to keep up with all of this. Where did they go? No, we've dropped out again. A couple of little updating time board issues here at the moment, but still, John, relatively clean. As the guys settle into, as you say, 2 hours. So plenty of time to get these cars settled.
There is, and as you can see up at the front here, it is nice and smooth. Down the grid though, it looks like the Lexus a Hambay. Nope, sorry, so there's been overtakes being made left, right and centre. So the timing board again hasn't updated to show, so I don't, come on. Let me select the driver, there we go. We really need to go again for this, I think. Nope, that doesn't work either. We're watching Kospach at the moment. He says he's currently in 10th. He's got Benedito just in front of him in the Bentley. So yeah, Kospach, that is correct. There's Ollie Moss in the background then, with Stan Franz tucked in behind. So Franz has made up quite a few places then. Denise Pope has got herself a little bit of a gap then. Back to Harry Phillips, who's trying to eke himself out of the gap. Certainly going to close him on the braking zone. A lot of Aston Martins tucked in there, so we're going to see some very close action from that team in there. With Zovic, tucked in there as well. Some of these names to get on the fly really are a bit of a mouthful, but it's Black Goldsaw absolutely off and running. Got himself. Oh, Sir Foch has been overtaken twice. So Sir Foch has been overtaken by the 2 Ferraris that are now battling it out themselves. So will he get a place back? I tell you what, let's jump on board and see exactly what he sees from the front of his car. And why is that jumping about? Something's slightly not right with the connection. So we'll go back to Helicam. But Sir Foch then, Kane, started very comfortably in second place. We did say there was 11 teams clock times in the 33, so these guys all very close. But all action with the Ferraris up front. 2 places Sir Foch has lost, and the 2 cars that have got past him are now battling heroically to take second place.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out for him now. No, Sir Foch, more than capable driver, but he'll just be looking to tuck in here and find that rhythm. Very interesting start. Denise Pope's got a cracker start there. John started down at 25th. I believe currently up into 18th, so good start from Denise there in that Wild Things machine. Like you said, Black Gold saw down a little bit. The other SOP Team 2 team The number 989 with Ian Egan's had a poor start there. Unfortunately, they're down in 23rd now, so a couple of spots dropped off at the start there in an incident. But again, these guys still just trying to find their rhythm out there at the moment, settle into some sort of pace, get these cars settled and get through their stint.
Yes, indeed, and it's a 75-minute driver stint for each of our teams, as we said, so no longer than 75 minutes. They can do the race half and half if they wish. One driver does 75 minutes, one they do 60 each, or they can have one driver, say, starting the race. Oh, Denise coming under a lot of pressure then. The Aston Martin up the inside and the Porsche in the background then. He is the man with all the views here. Oh, right up the inside onto Carbone. Is he going to make that sticky? Absolutely is. So there you go then. The Porsche lurking in the background now induces a drag race with Pope and Bora. There we go. Sovinch moving up, and I tell you what, side by side along Carbone, and it's an angel's feet at the tread moment here. And look at the formation driving here, late on the brakes for the Porsche, absolutely holds up. Oh, and I tell you what, in the background comes Hollis in the Ferrari, and so does Ian Egan as well. So this group just got a whole lot closer as well, Kane. All kinds of action going on. That is not, there we go. That's selected. That's, oh, and a bit of dust there from Ian Egan. Very, very, very close. He's getting as well to the driver up front. So we're going to see some serious overtakes here in the middle of the field, it would seem. Denise then moving out to find some clean air going into turn one. Definitely don't want it. Oh, and the Ferrari goes sideways. Absolutely manages to hold it though. Lights up the back tyres. Definitely not what you need coming through at this section of the track. And he's got Ian Egan now all over the back of him. Denise still very much putting in. Oh, and we've got some penalties coming through as well. Of course, we do have live stewarding in the rush to bring you all the action. Oh, they're still actually going. Oh, and I tell you what, Chris Davies, slight contact there with the back of the SOP Porsche. Has himself a bit of a wiggle, backs right out of it. So another bit of contact there. Oh, and I tell you what, Denise Pope then, all kinds of defending, goes up the inside. So they're going to come down the back stretch. Denise taking the place back. Fumagalli then in 15th has been given a 10-second penalty. That's 2 5-second penalties, I believe, just having a look at my tracker there. Yes, it was. So 2 separate 5-second penalties there. So that's a 10-second penalty, which will be added to his time at the end. Of course, we do have live stewards. They can't hand out stop-goes, drive-through penalties, and the such. And I'll tell you what, that is getting very close. Oh, and somebody's lost it there completely behind Ian Egan. Was that Bora? Oh, it was Callum Boyd in the... There we go. So the F1 idiots there, a late entrance to the team actually. We didn't have on the list. They joined late. Tracker with 24th there. Made a bit of a mistake behind Ian on the brakes and find themselves spinning and off into the gravel. Let's have a look and see how this battle up at the front is progressing. There's no battle at the front with Black Gold, so his only battle will be with Boredom. I would say he is absolutely nailing that Bentley around this course at the moment. Scully is the man currently in second, with Borgeson up in third. Sir Foch patiently watching in the background in fourth. There's Ferreira in fifth. Scatolo is in sixth, with Ren and Dito battling hard with Joe LaCour then. Joe we saw going at the pit wall, so carrying a bit of damage perhaps. Not 100% sure why all the flags are showing. No, there's a lot of Scottish drivers in here today, isn't there? Or is that just the default flag that's happened because I've commentated and they haven't picked one? I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, loving the Scottish representation if that is the case. Joe LaCour, as I said, went into the pit wall on lap 1, looking to fight his way back. Got Rennie Renadito, a name very well known to Kane and I, of course, a participant in the RDC Porsche British Cup Series. A roaring success of races. 7 weeks that little cracker was. There's not 7 weeks of this, there is 2 hours of this though. Ren and Dito and Joe LaCour battling out for 7th. Carrera then in that stunning Ferrari livery for STE Racing, currently hanging on to 9th, but has Jan Kospach hanging on to his rear spoiler. 10th position. So another battle that is developing. Just having a look about here. Oh, I tell you what, we're seeing seems to be something going wrong with the corner as the cars are coming through there. A bit of a rocking effect there for some reason, but that seems to sort itself out when it comes out of there. Anything on track we should be keeping an eye on? Any time anybody very close to one another, Kane? What can you see for us at the moment? Oh, and more penalties coming in, but yeah, what have we got on track at the moment?
Yeah, just following those penalties, trying to work out Fumagali here, 15 seconds there. Just following that Lexus, keeping an eye on it, seeing how that thing is travelling. In the Scuderia Charlie Firpo team, so unfortunate start for those guys with that 15-second penalty. They'll be serving that either in a pit stop or at the end of their session. So just a quick hello to everyone in the chat. John, been in here for a while now. Don't forget anybody here. Perserto, hello Perserto. Jimothy M3.
Jimmy!
SOP Motorsports, of course, in here. Simon. Very happy Simon with Black Gold Saw going off at the start. So Kyle Harris, here we go. Yes, of course, Kyle, we are off. Who else do we have here? Nunez. Hello, Nunez.
That's Alex Nunez. Hi, Alex. Hi, Kyle.
Alex Nunez. Stefan 3. Ian Egan. Hello.
Ian.
Much love for John there. Volcan back again. Hello.
Volcan!
Here.
The volcano. What is happening?
The volcano.
Alarm clock. Sorry.
That's John's alarm clock to make sure I'm awake.
Actually, it's. But anyway, sorry, keep saying hi to people.
That's everyone, John. We're all caught up. So hello to everyone in the chat. Let us know how you're travelling. Got much love for Corn and Carrots. Volcan. Alex Nunez, nicely done by Denise. Yes, Denise has gotten off to a good start there. Currently back in 21st at the moment. So
battling hard with Solace in the Ferrari, though. I'll tell you what, she was in 20th. And this is going to be Battle Supreme. Holds her line absolutely beautifully there. Does Denise. Wild Things Racing. Great to see her back up on her feet and running again. Of course, now he's a full-time living in sim racing, working for some astronomical sim racing companies, and it's good to see her back in the driving seat once again and hanging on to 20th position magnificently as they come down the straight, and enough of a distance there. The slipstream won't quite be enough to get caught up coming into the braking zone of turn 3. Well, when I say
another penalty there applied, John. Ian Egan in the 28th position, so not the best start for Ian, currently down in 28th. Started a bit higher than that. Got that 5-second penalty added to his time now as well.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate one. Then there we go. We do see that the drivers have one mandatory pit stop. The mandatory pit stop is more of a technicality because obviously they will have to drive, but that's just to make sure that the driver change is observed. That is the only mandatory requirement during the pit stop. They don't have to change tyres, they don't have to take on fuel. They will have to take on fuel though, and it is a brave driver that tries this on one set of tyres. Speaking of which, Black Gold Saw, I wonder how he's getting on up at the front of the field. Yeah, genuinely, just absolutely romping it. He is 12 seconds ahead, of the battle that is commencing then. Sir Fosh getting himself back in the running. Fascinating battle for the podium. You're often famous, Kane, for not seeing the leaders of the race, but this one, it's hard to take your eyes off this here, considering that this is a battle for second and third, and the team in fourth qualified in second position. So yeah, this one is just exactly what we like to see at the start of a race, all down to driver skill and the pit strategy that we mentioned.
That's right, and plenty of time still, only 15 minutes into this race, plenty of time for that pit strategy and skill to be shown. Kevin Scully up from 4th position in 2nd spot at the moment in the Fordzilla team. Only started his sim racing career a year or so ago, Kevin did. Done a couple of events recently on SimGrid. Got a 4th finish in a 2.5 hour event at Imola, so no stranger to these endurances at the moment. So Kevin Scully gotten his race off to a good start. in that Ferrari, John.
Yeah.
Be looking to get his teammate Charlie Crossland in that car at some stage, and those guys are very
yeah, so I'm
evenly
laughing
matched.
there. Charlie Crossland, wow. I mean, seriously, we're talking about some of the names in this. Very, 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 very quick, very good driver. Looking forward to see what we can do on track. And yeah, some excellent, like we say, some fantastic teams. We didn't do them enough justice when we came in. We do have some little snippets, some little tidbits of information on the team. Not much information needed on Black Gold Saw. If you play ACC, you know who Black Gold Saw is. And there we go, see him sporting that stunning SOP livery in the Bentley. Let's get some close, look at that. Lovely. Kevin Scully, though, the man we mentioned, in the Ferrari in second place. Borgeson, though, very, very, very close indeed. And let's definitely, absolutely, in no way, shape or form count out the man who started in second and is currently in fourth. Praying mantis position. I believe the praying mantis strategy. I believe this now for Sir Foss, but the two drivers up front, just absolutely stunning display of driving. Some very, very, very close drivers all through the field, though. There's Sorloni and Zarnowski, as we can see. Great little battle down here, 14th through to 18th. Is that Pete Greaves just in behind as well? Meeting one veg driver, car number 555, home school racer, of course. Currently in 18th, just behind Harry Phillips in this nice little group of cars here. He will be hoping to exploit, as Fuengali looks to exploit the slipstream up the inside. Is he going to hold the brakes? The Lambo running very, very wide there. Side-by-side situation in the background as well. Oh, and the Lexus has got it done, but has he run wide? Lights up the back tyres. The Ferrari's going to go for the cutback. The Bentley in the background is run wide as well then. So Harry Phillips for, and he's going to come under pressure back up the inside. Sails the Boltley. Can he hold it? Can the Lexus? So the Lexus has got it done, and the Bentley has got the move back done as well. So yeah, 2 hour race be damned, Kane. These guys and gals want these positions as early as possible. And talk me through what's going on here with Solace in 21st, still battling out with Denise Pope, now in front of Denise. But these two look like they're joined at the bumpers at the moment.
Yeah, it has been such a tight battle here at the middle of the pack. Strange calling the 20th positions middle pack, John. Very.
Yes, it is.
We see one of those cars in the background just lose a little bit of grip there, John. Who's that losing it? Alex Stefan.
Yeah,
lost in the McLaren there. He's going to get swamped up and swallowed by Chris Davies. It looks like here. Stefan can't keep that car back on the track. Here comes Chris now. He's got the run, and it looks like Stefan's going to have enough pace at the moment, but a little bit of a wobble there, bit of a wiggle. Don't want to get too many of those in the game so early. Still a few penalties down the line as well, John. One name that has jumped right up through the list was Harry Phillips. You can see where Harry Phillips is there in 17th position, I believe. Harry's from the Blanks Racing team with George A. Phillips. They started down in 31st position, John, so very, very strong start from those guys.
Yeah, that is a cracking start there. So they've made up, sorry, how many positions? Give me that again, Kane. They've got, what, 15 places?
Yeah, 14
spots.
positions.
Wow.
So, very positive start for those guys out there in the Bentley.
Yeah, that's absolutely stunning. There we go. I do like this. I do like the colour of this this Mercedes. I'm glad that Cosmats has got a bit of a battle. It gives me an excuse to use this view. That does look very, very good. And the noise that comes out with that thing is absolutely ungodly. We do love the Mercedes. Oh, Cosmats. I thought he was the man that was battling them. He seemed to drop off a bit. It's Cataldo and Joe Lacour then. He's still, but I believe it was Joe Lacour. So he was collected, it looks like, on lap 1. And our stewards gave the penalty then to Fumagalli, who's currently running in 14th position. Black Gold saw then run away. Let's go down to the bottom of the field, see who we've got. We've got Jack Wilkins then, of course, Jackie Harris's teammate. East Wind Racing, currently 35th. 10-second penalty, unfortunately for Jackie. Jack, sorry. Jackie is Jack's teammate. But then we've got Joaquim Carizo Moreno. Absolutely cracking handle, that one. 34th, Callum Boyd's in 33rd with Garen Hamby. Interesting fact, Gareth is actually 6 foot 5 inches tall. Sorry. Interesting fact, Gareth is only 5 foot 6 inches tall. Not 6 foot 5. 5 foot 6 inches tall.
Careful with the only, Johns. You're talking to another shorty in comps here. Only.
I know, sorry.
Don't listen to him, Garen. Don't listen to him, Garen. We're perfect.
It's much easier to get jeans at your height than it is at mine. Being 6'3" definitely has its drawbacks, I can assure you. As I say, my back sounded like maracas every time I started up. Paul Drosser then is in 31st, the man about to be towered over by the 5'6" Garen Hamby there. Leonardo Giadone, he is in 30th with Charlie DeFore just up the road in 29th. Just Loon is in 28th, looking to make Ian Egan's day just that little bit worse with the 5-second penalty. Then of course it's Bora Sayan Karak in 26th position, and then is Benjamin Herman coming under some pressure there in 25th, with Eliza Martin currently running in 24th. Alex Stefan is in 23rd with Chris Davies in 22nd. Denise Pope is in 21st, and Oscar Solis is off up the road now. Got himself a bit of a gap and he's closing in on Zan Zovic in 19th. Then it's Homeschool Racer. He gets a theme song every time I say his name. He's in 18th place with Thomas Sarnowski. He is currently running in 17th, and say currently because this battle here is just never ending. Dare we take our eyes off Harry Phillips, Carlos Orloni, Ollie Moss and Alessandro Fumagalli. Of course, Fumagalli with a penalty to serve, but still very much in the race. And there's a big gap then to Federico Carrara in the STE Racing team. Oh, and that's Alexis down. Manages to get back on as well. That's going to be a bit of a track penalty, you would think, for the limits, as the Aston Martin of Harry Phillips sails up the inside of Sarnowski to take another place then. The Ferrari of Zorloni is not what I meant to jump on. It's Ollie Moss that we're talking about. So Alexis still hangs on ahead to 13th position with Moss tucked in there. Fumagalli, as I mentioned, in 12th. There's Carrara running with that pack in the background in 12th. We've got Scatolo in 11th. We've got Stan Franz in 10th place. Great jump up the field for him as well. There's Thomas Davidson. Tom Davidson, of course, the man that won the Porsche Cup. More penalties getting handed out. I hope Kane's keeping an eye on them because I'm looking at a different screen. John Kospatch is in 8th with Joe Lacour off and running now. In 7th, Renan Dito is the man in 6th with Danilo Ferrero off on his own for FSPT Racing. Team Danny in 5th position, getting it close to some back markers though at the moment. Sir Foch then, oh look at this, Sir Foch 4th, Filippo is in 3rd, Kevin Scully's in 2nd, Black Gold Saws in 1st. Let's jump back on here, and Kane, I'm seeing penalties popping up all over the place here. And
yeah, that's Jan Kospach, John, in that green Mercedes you were following before. He's got Tom Davidson right behind him, gained himself a 10-second penalty as well. So unfortunate there for Kospach in that number 77, beautiful looking Mercedes.
Okay, so another penalty then. So 10 seconds. Fumagalli on a 13-second penalty now as well, and I do believe we had another penalty further down. Yeah, Ian Egan and Jack Wilkins as well. So 4 drivers will be serving out penalties during their pit stop. Or in fact, we're going to have to double check. I'm not 100% sure what that one means, whether that means it gets added to their time at the end of the race or whether they'll have to sit. It doesn't say SG, so I don't think, although it might get added to their pit stop driver change. Anyone in the chat? Because yeah, we do have live stewarding and post-race stewarding as well. The event will have post-race stewarding using the report forms available on Discord as well. So it's not, we're not just relying on in-game capture of the live stewards. If anything untoward, or the driver does feel anything untoward has happened, you can report it through the normal channels. Get it looked at very close here. Look how close Ollie Moss is getting. He is absolutely...
Here we go, Alex Nunez already jumping into the chat there, John. They do have to serve it in the pit stop.
Ah, okay, there we go.
It is added to the pit time. Kyle Harris jumping in, also confirming that information from Alex. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow, so...
Quick look at Black Gold Sword, John. Just a reflection of how fast he's got that running at the moment. He's got that Bentley running at the moment. His best time currently is a 1:33.1. So that is
ridiculous.
A good chunk of fuel in that tank, carrying that thing along as well. So yeah, very, very quick. He's gonna get himself quite the gap if that continues.
Oh, drive through for Ollie Moss. And I'll tell you what, the Lexus is going to get one as well. I'll tell you what, we said the pit stops. What are the pit stops? The pit stops were going to be a crucial part of today's race, and it is becoming more and more crucial now as our drivers are falling foul of the stewards, both virtual and real. Oh, very close again. Ollie Moss definitely looks like he's got the pace on Fumagalli, but Fumagalli is defending from absolutely everything he can. What about the pit stops? The drive-through penalty will cost our drivers 28 seconds. That's how much time they will lose for a straight-up drive-through penalty. So you see Ollie Moss there, the drive-through there, so that's 28 seconds he is going to lose. And drop down the order. Fumagalli then, he's got the 15 seconds, so that's going to be added to his stop time. So it's 36 seconds to stop the car and change drivers if you do it just a straight driver swap. So if they do it during the driver swap, they're looking like 46 seconds. And if they do it during the tyre change, that's going to be 1 minute 16 seconds, almost a full lap. We're going to be looking at just for a 10-second penalty taken during a tyre change. Obviously the 10-second penalty can't be taken during a drive-through, so it does have to be when the driver stops. So the minimum damage they're looking at is a 46-second drop cane, and that is going to hurt as we see Ollie Moss coming in to serve the drive-through. Of course, there being a 3-lap limit on how long you can have a drive-through penalty before you have to take it. But yeah, this is going to really, like, Jan Kospitz is going to lose potentially 46 seconds game. It's going to throw him right back into traffic no matter when he pits.
Yeah, of course. It's not just that 10 seconds that gets added, it's that time in the pit lane, as we do see Ollie Moss come through. He's got that that drive-through cleared, and he's on the exit. Quite a long exit of the pit exit here, so it's very, very slow when you cross that line at the end, waiting to set second gear off. Ollie Moss has got that second gear in that Ferrari. He's headed back out. It looks to me like he's slotted just into 23rd, 24th. No, here we go. Now it's going to update. So we'll wait for that first update. Ollie Moss.
Oh,
currently
sorry.
Showing in 26th, John. So
yes.
We've got that update at the moment now.
I was looking at Solace, the other Ferrari there. Sorry. Too many cars. What's going on? Come on, give us a program. Even Arnold telling us off now. As the Ferrari runs through. Davidson then. I did mention Davidson. You can't change the camera on that screen, John. You need to use this one. Where's he gone?
Yeah, Tom Davidson's a very strong start, John. He's up from 15th position, so another one that's made the most of the opening exchanges. Only half an hour into this race, so Tom up 6 positions as well. Still watching Harry, still on the move. He's past Zoloni now as well. Harry Phillips up into 14th, John, so in 31st position, up into 14th in 30 minutes. Anything's possible here for Harry Phillips and the team.
Yeah, I would say so. He is looking at going absolutely great guns. And he's putting in, it now looks like he's kind of reached his level as far as lap time goes. He does look good to take 13th place from Fumagalli, but certainly in his lap times, he looks like he may have reached his ceiling. He's going to have to shed some weight in that car and find himself another half second or so if he wants to break in to this top 12 drivers. And I'll tell you what's playing him exactly, Kane, I'm not even kidding. I'm glad I brought it up at the start of the race. We had 11 drivers that set times in the 1 minute 33s in quali. At the moment, we've got 11 drivers who are lapping in the 34s. Just behind them, qualifying in the 34-second bracket, was 11 drivers. We currently have 11 drivers lapping in the 35s. And we've got one alien who's already lapped the whole field 72 times in a Bentley. It's Black Gold Saw. So the pit stops are, I don't even know what I was going to be accompanying and asking there, Kane. I'm just marvelling at the own stats and how close this field is right through the pack. As we see Davison still battling for it. A name known, of course, to you and I. He did win RDC's last finished event. Of course, got the GT4 event on the go with the Porsche Cup. It was Tom that took the prize there. Solis then came out in 18th position, so we know he's much quicker than that, and he is closing up on the Bentley of Sarnowski just in front. Oh, as we see a Mercedes falling foul there, going to have to be very, very careful on re-entry there. Zovinch is going to come through, and so is Denise Pope, so she's going to get back in her place. Oh, is there... Well... I wasn't sure how to verbalise... Oh, up the inside, no, I know how to verbalise that. He's going up the inside through the extended hairpin chicanery type corner. That's the only name I'm giving it, and he's got the overtake done. I think Sarnowski was realising there that he is outpaced by Solis, who's just served his drive-through back up to 16th position. It is Pete Greaves that is just up ahead of him, of course part of Team Meat and One Veg.
Yeah, they've definitely got some spots as well, John. They started at 21st position. So Pete Greaves, homeschool in 15th at the moment. So another 6 positions there. Those guys are doing great as well.
Yes, and tell you, it's no surprise from Pete, very solid. He's a former runner-up in the ACR PS4 Beginners League, as I might well know. Kane, I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but yeah. Former PS4 player, he's turned to the PC. He started sim racing and streaming back in July 2020. Look how quick he is already, could you be more annoying? Team member of RLR Abruzzi Esports and Euro Enduro Motorsports, Ian. His teammate is also in EEM. He's about to start a GT3 campaign with OTL and 949, and he's currently racing with RDC at GT4 Championship. He does love an acronym, does our homeschool racer, doesn't he, Kate?
I'm not sure. I think he just bumps computer keys, I'm sure. Pete Greaves there. It's actually my claim to fame. I've actually finished in front of homeschool racer in a race. There we go.
Oh, yes. Oh, was that when you won at Bathurst?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Yes,
it
you
was.
won that race at Bathurst. I remember it well, Ken. I remember it well. I was more, in fact, I was streaming at that point in time, and I was more excited about you winning than me finishing in the top 10. I almost crashed my car celebrating your victory. So, yes, I do
very well.
remember that very well. Sir Fosten was temporarily... No, he is in third. He's got past Borgeson then. Borgeson, we've missed that there. Running on about, yeah, we're going to get sacked from someone. They're coming up to a back marker Ferrari as well. A lot of light flashing going on there, as we can see. The flashers going on a little bit past. So Borgeson then. I wonder what's happened there. Do you think... Has he made a mistake? Has there been a bit of damage? Let us closely inspect his car. Doesn't seem to be any damage on the front, certainly. We'll have a quick look at the back of the car. No damage on the back of the car, Kane. Oof. So, obviously, you'd expect no damage from these guys up front, but you see them drop down at these places and create this gap to Sir Foch now. Yeah, something has gone wrong for our friend Borgeson then. So, Filippo down to 4th, Kane.
Yeah, a little mishap there from Borgeson's going to put him back just behind these guys at the moment, but said still plenty of time left in this race, so we'll see him close back up to the back of that pack. These guys battling out for all money here. Brilliant to watch, as always here at RDC, John.
Yes, indeed it is. Take your microphone off mute after you type. See, I'm getting good at this. I remember when I type, hit the mute button. But yeah, always some fantastic racing here as the Porsche Cup Series. Of course, if you didn't watch the Porsche Cup Series, why not go back and watch it? Not right now, obviously, because we've still got an hour and 25 minutes and a lot of pit stops. At least 35 pit stops to take, potentially 70 if some teams do a two-stopper. Talking about the fantastic racing, we do, I think, now, Kane, 35 minutes in. That means there's 60 minutes. We'd be at the 90-minute mark. Do we think the two-stoppers, this is now surely the opening of their pit stop window, you would think?
Possibly. We might start to see some of these drivers come into the pits soon. But, yeah, still, just look at Black Gold Saw. He's amongst a whole lot of back markers at the moment, so doing awfully well to get through all of that. Couple of yellow flags flashing on and off the screen as always. These guys always pushing it to the limits. In all the excitement this evening, John, we seem to be missing some Harris names on grid.
Where is Team Brother?
Yeah, so we've got Kyle in the chat.
Kyle Harris.
He's going to chime in any moment now and give us an update on what's happened there. He's got a hot date. There we go.
Kyle, whatever your middle name is, Harris. That is unacceptable, young man. Put the hair dye down. Put the comb back in the blue stuff. Remember, don't dye your hair with that. You only leave the comb in it to brush it. What you honestly, Jens. I'm face palming for you as he left you in the lurch. Yeah, honestly, Kyle, it's unacceptable. It's probably just as well I can't see any of the chats. For some reason I don't get to see either chat. But yeah, Kyle, head shaking. Yeah, so that's it. That's, yeah. You cast aspersions, Kane. Let's cast aspersions on his good character for backing out at the last minute and leaving the real drivers to get the job done. But anyway, Kyle, how did your race go earlier on today? I know you guys were racing another race earlier on. I don't have to talk some nonsense. I can't believe I got away with doing this. But yeah, let us know you got on with the race earlier, Kyle. I know there was, and Simon as well in the chat. How did the guys get on? How did the SOP guys get on in their two splits? You had two teams running earlier on in the SimGrid Endurance Series, and Kyle and Jens were teammates in another Endurance Race Series. So give us up-to-date updates on what happened when, who finished where, who binned it, who dropped it, who is getting left in the hallway for Christmas dinner. What is happening in the world? Denise Pope then is looking very, very, very close indeed, putting in some very, very quick lap times considering where she currently is on the grid. Definitely showing more pace than Zovic in front of her. She'll be looking to get herself into the top 18 in that McLaren. I didn't expect a Wild Things livery, but didn't get one, which is unfortunate. Sorry, that was just an excuse to say that for Kieran Clifford. How are we doing, Kieran? Hope you're in the chat as well. It's amazing what you get away with, Ken. It's amazing what you get away with. Tom Davison and Joe LaCour, though, they're fighting it out at the moment. Joe LaCour. Oh, and we've got more penalties. Car number 118, Kane. That, is Eliza Martin. 2 rapid fire penalties for Eliza, and the penalty bug is spreading thick and fast through the field, Kane. And this really is going to be all about the pit stops now.
Yeah, another 10 seconds. So a total of 10 seconds now to that number 188. Yeah, a couple of penalties showing up, John. Definitely causing problems for these drivers. It's going to add some time to their planned pit stops. So still have 10 minutes left of the short driver window. So we will definitely be seeing how these strategies come into effect sooner rather than later now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as you say, there was a 70-minute maximum driver stint time. So that is the longest a driver can. They don't have to take that stint in one sitting. This is where the two-stop strategy could well come into play. Get your quick driver out early and then put them back out at the end of the race. Sort of a Stig in Top Gear type scenario. We did have a look, Kane and I, through the qualifying times, and I'm not going to throw Kane under the bus, but we will come to him at about the hour mark, and we'll have a little look at some of the team qualifying, because it's very interesting to see, like Black Gold saw qualify in the front row of the grid, 1:32, but his teammate, well, his teammate didn't even qualify in the top 5. So that shows you just how much the average. So when we're about an hour in, we'll have a look at the teams and see how the individual drivers and how we expect that to have an impact on the second half of the race when we see the teammates of our on-track drivers being unleashed. Speaking of unleashed, Ollie Mosh has just unleashed himself past Alex Stefan then to take back 21st position in the Ferrari after serving a drive-through penalty. There we go, confirmation of that. So Chris Springbok Davies will of course be, it's coming out the wrong way in there, Chris Davies Springbok. Another Scotland flag. I don't know why all the Scotland flags. I think that's in honour of me, kids. I think they all thought, we've got Raven. He needs something to talk about. We need to bring him out his shell a bit more, perhaps entice him into actually saying a few things while on air. Oh, yes. Before you answer that question, I'm like
yes, John. Yes, that's exactly what they've done. Just chiming in here, Kyle Harris has answered us back. Jens done a great job earlier to get the guys up to P17 until they picked up some damage when it started raining. Unfortunately, dropped back down to 46th, but managed to get it back up to 36th position in the end. So good fight back from those guys, but on pace to finish quite strong, as we see Lisa Martins there just missing a braking point, slightly wrong, and be under a little bit more pressure from the Bentley behind very, very soon.
What are you watching? Bentley. Sorry, alright, okay, sorry, you must have been watching some. I was going to say, sorry, I thought you were commentating on what was happening on screen. I was like, that's a Lamborghini, Kane. How did you think that was a Bentley?
I can't see your screen, sorry, John.
Oh, right, I'm screen sharing the Discord again. Sorry, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, I got all confused there. So sorry, who were you talking about battling? Because this Lamborghini's getting close. That corner really doesn't like that onboard camera. It doesn't look at that glitching like that. It was the Lamborghini's not glitching though. Going to be up the inside then. Very, very, very quick corner there. Curva Quercia. Quercia, sorry. Some of these names are absolutely cracking. Sometimes we moan about corners being called turn 1 through 11. Look at the sake of lazy. But then you get tracks like this. Curva Quercia and Curva Tramonto. I'll tell you what, the drivers don't care what the names of the corners are. Look how close that Lamborghini is still getting there. So Zarlone,
little
very,
chuckle
very
there,
close.
John. Volcan in the chat looking for a purple burglar alarm from you.
He's looking for a purple burglar alarm. Well, I can assure you my burglar alarm has been set and it is definitely not purple. Thank you very much. I would not give you the satisfaction of saying purple burglar alarm, my good man. So you can keep your requests to yourself. Thanks very much. Honestly, Kane, they pick on me. They really don't. Like it. They really don't. Ooh, the Lamborghini up the inside in the last turn. That is how you make a move. Dynamis Esports, Carlos Orlone then putting it up the inside, and Fumagalli then is going to have a full-on handful as well, because that's Solis tucked just in behind. And there's a man we were just talking about in 16th, Pete Greaves, homeschool racer. He knows how to make. This guy can endurance race, right? Annoyingly, such a calm person, very nice, great nice guy, can drive great in endurance race situations, and he will make the absolute most of Solis here, attacking those cars in front. And Solis, I'm sorry to say this for Magali, but he is going to get the move done on you sooner rather than later, especially with the slipstream. Then pops out the inside, as we see, look at that, homeschool pops right into the slipstream of the Lexus. He knows exactly what he's doing there. Race IQ 200 at the moment. Solis up the inside. Look at how much space the Lexus still had though. Falls back into place, giving homeschool the Lexus slipstream then. That is the Ferrari that's off and running. Fumagalli then down to 15th. Solis. There we go, in the Ferrari in the foreground, and homeschool racer. I'll tell you what, let's have a look and see what it looks like inside his Bentley. Not a car I'm used to seeing Was it Aston Martin? So it's Aston Martin's driving, I do apologise. To all
Got a
Aston Martin.
drive-through penalty, John, from this end.
Oscar Dole in 10th?
Mutton, yeah, in 10th position. Track limits there, so he's incurred himself a drive-through penalty. We know how much that costs time, as Ollie Moss still trying to fight his way back up.
83%. No, sorry, not 83%. That's the other way around. The drive-through, 28 seconds. So about a quarter, just under a quarter of a lap.
Very, very costly. Any time spent in the pits that wasn't planned, absolutely. So, yeah, those guys getting that drive-through is not gonna help.
Solis has got the move done.
Race.
We've missed it. Solis is ahead of Zorlone. Fumagalli is now attacking Zorlone. Yep, there we go. So we've missed that one there. Looking about the field, there is what the Lamborghini driver is saying. See just how much steering.
And we might.
On you go, Ken?
A bit of blue flag action, I think. We've got some lights flashing. Took a quick little glance back at that move you talked about then, John. Down the main straight it was, a bit of extra pace through the corner exit of the last, and come up against 2 or 3 wide there, little bumps and grinds there, so may have a little to answer for later on, but we'll see how that pans out anyway. Zorlone now in 14th position.
Yes, indeed. Oh, the Mercedes again. That's the same Mercedes that spun earlier, getting out of the way very quickly. A bit of a twitch for some forced drive-through for track limits. 1 lap remaining to take it. Car number 297, Scatolo, then got 1 lap left to take his drive-through penalty. Of course, these penalties that have been added, they can be taken during the pit stop if the in-game stewards give you a drive-through or a stop-go penalty. You've got 3 laps to take it. Look how close the Foss gets in that braking zone. We've got a much tighter line through here coming into Corvone. Of course, not the type of place you want to be making an overtake. Aston Martin very, very quickly getting out of the way. 48 minutes into the race, so still a good half an hour left for these drivers to finish out their stint, if they are to be taking their stint. I'm going to put money on Black Goldsaw doing every single second of his 75-minute stint. If you had that type of pace in your arsenal, you would absolutely not hesitate to leave him on track for as long as possible. And that is
Kevin Scully and Sir Foss just battling out through some blue flags, John, for 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Kevin just extending that gap with a little bit of blue flag action. So Foss was right up the backside, 0.2 seconds just behind at the moment. Kevin just put a little bit out, so just about a second in front at the moment. So yeah, blue flags definitely playing their part at the moment. They're going to have some more just up the road as well. So Herman in the Audi, 10 seconds away. So those front runners kept very, very close. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Going to see their co-drivers come into the race in the next 10 to 20 minutes, and see how they can finish out the event.
Yes, indeed. Oh, drive-through 989. Car number 989 has been given a drive-through penalty for track limits. Ian Egan. Not a good day at the office for Ian Egan in the Audi. Of course, more used to driving the Porsche, but in the Audi today for Team SOP Esports. Team number 2 qualified 16th. Okay, save me. Someplace in that region, but dropping down the order. Definitely falling foul of both the live stewards and the virtual stewards.
Yeah, 17th, sorry, John.
17th.
So
I was so
very,
close.
Very close there. Chat coming alive now. The guy's wondering if Black Goldsaw's teammate is going to have enough of a gap in front to close it out. That is, of course, Alex Phillips. We do see Ian Egan come in, serve that drive through straight away, John. So getting that clear and done. John did mention before about some qualifying times. We do have all the guys' qualifying times at our disposal, and Black Goldsaw, like we have said, 32.2 his qualifying time, plenty out in front of the rest of the pack. His teammate Alex Phillips, no slouch at all, against Andre. Got a 33.4, so got quite the gap there. We will leave everybody in suspense as to the drivers that are needing to catch up to Alex Phillips when he gets into that car. Ian Egan comes out with a bit of traffic now. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to keep you updated on that. But yeah, quite the gap there. Alex Phillips to his teammate, Black Goldsaw, who still last lap, John, 34.1. Very, very quick out there as race pace.
And that ironically is one of his slowest laps of the race, and it is still half a tenth quicker than anything anyone else has done. In fact, sorry, it's half a tenth slower. It's the second fastest lap by only half a tenth, and that's his slowest lap of the race so far. So he is absolutely crushing it. So much so the camera, there we go, can't even keep up with him. I couldn't get the camera tail to pick his car there. He's just going too quick. Roads where we're going, we don't need roads. Ooh, and I tell you what, he's going to have to watch those track limits. We've certainly seen the penalties get banded about. You and I both know, Kane, Misano is not a track you want to mess with the track limits. A 2-hour race like this, ooh, I tell you what, that's the other side of the white lines as well. I hope that man knows what I was about to say. I hope he knows what he's doing. He's only the quickest man in the world on a joypad, so I'm sure he's got more of a clue what he's doing than I do. Oh, look at this Ferrari on Ferrari on Ferrari action, Kane. I might need a moment to myself here. This is the type of thing we love to see, and I'm sure that any Italians watching will love to see this on Italian home soil. These three cars battling it out for the podium, Kane. Second, third and fourth, and it is just swings and roundabouts, yo-yos, tooth and nail, whichever analogy you want to talk about. Yeah, this group of three drivers are just trading positions at the moment, and yeah, it's some fantastic stuff and some fantastic control given how close they're getting.
Absolutely, absolutely, and all this.
Here you go, Kane. Once again, we're famous for two things: me making the sound of the mess, three things: the mess of the audio, missing the one across the line, and me answering your questions for you. Well, there you go. It was very close, Kane, but now we've got Sir Fosh in the pits to unleash his teammate, who of
Hubert,
course, yes,
is Hubert Zymanski, John. So actually qualified slightly faster pace than his teammate. So the SOP Esports Racing number 3 team sent their very, very slightly slower driver out for the first stint. So Sir Fosh getting his drive done, and those guys almost splitting it right down the middle, John.
Yeah, and just to clarify as well, before any fans of any drivers are up in arms, when we say it was close between them, Sir Fosh qualified with a 1 minute 33.237. Hubert Zymanski 1 minute 33.210. So 0.027 seconds ahead. So when we say slightly quicker teammate, I mean slightly quicker teammate. I think Sir Fosh might have had his window wipers on at that point in time or something. The difference between those drivers, absolutely phenomenal. And we did have another anomaly, Kane, with another team. I mean, we're getting close to our mark. Let's give us another teaser. Go and give us. You know what I'm hinting at.
The anomaly with the other team, yes, John. That would be the missing link in my everything. The Goro Motors. No, you're talking about something else.
I'm talking about FS.
Talk to me.
FSPT Team Danny in 6th place, Kane.
Absolutely, John.
The point that you highlighted and asked me to bring up, so you'd have something to talk about, Kane.
The 330 creeping out.
Oh yeah, it was a torture technique. Yes, but anyway, you go ahead.
The FSPT Team Danny team, Daniel Ferrero and Daniel Cuso, setting identical 133s 486 qualifying times. So very, very easy to average out those guys' times. Sixth place, I believe it's
that was almost lazy, but I'll let you off with it.
486 is the average of those two. Yes, very quick.
Wow,
maths.
that is unbelievable maths at this time in the morning, Kane. There is no flies on you.
That's a record.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
I need a letter to my third grade math teacher. I can do it.
Oh.
So those guys, yeah, travelling along very nicely. Another couple of drivers we have seen plenty, John, is Connor Carrots, Cornelius Filbinger, and Randy Rendendito out there in 5th position at the moment. So those guys picked up 2 positions from qualifying. Got away to a solid start to this race.
Yes, indeed, they have Rendendito there, as we can see, in 5th. He does have Kospatch all over the back of him, but of course Kospatch has a 10-second penalty to take when he takes his pit stop. So we're going to find himself with some kind of 10-second gap. As you see, another car coming in the pits. So that's Szymanski come in, and there's Sharp has come into the pits as well. Of course, Ollie Moss has taken pit stop number 2 as well. Stint 1, Ian Egan, he's got his first stint out the way. And Fumagalli, of course, as well. We've got quite a few drivers. Joe Lacour has come into the pits, and so has Zorlone, as well as Scatola, so has Carrera, so has Borgeson, and so has, of course, Sir Foch, who was very far up the field. Indeed, it is safe to say, battling it out for that 2nd, 3rd, 4th position. Of course, his teammate, as we mentioned, is Hubert Szymanski, and Hubert has come out the pits in 16th position, Kane. So Borgeson dropped down to 8th at the moment. Of course, the other driver battling it out for the top, so they've come into the pits as well. So Filippo Borgeson has come into the pit, so his teammate will be released. And there are there in the background there, I was just about to say, how far behind will they be? And not too far at all. So Hubert then making the most of his outlaps, that is absolutely for sure. We're going to have to wait for that to update a bit before I can get the teammate online. But there it is there, so Persico then, the man coming out 2nd for Team Siamo Nel Chilling. Not entirely sure what that means, seems half Italian, half British, half English, sorry. So Siamo Nel Chilling in the Ferrari, they have come out just behind Team SOP. Kevin Scully then is coming into the pits as well. Black Goldsaw still off and running, but Scully then has come into the pits. So, okay, where is he going to come out? Ahead of Sir Foch or behind?
Yeah, just got the chat lighting up with this at the moment. Those guys getting off and underway. Going to be interesting undercut, they reckon. Sir Foch out with the undercut. Let's hope. Still showing up as Kevin Scully in my screen at the moment, so just wondering if that track driver change has been performed.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be very close. There's Sir Foch then coming along into turn 1. And where...
Of course, it won't be Sir Foch, it'll be Szymanski.
Szymanski, sorry, I'm talking about Szymanski, the esports team. Sorry, yes.
The esports number 3 team. So Kevin Scully still in.
Effectively, 2nd position.
But also still in the seat, John. So Charlie Crossland not jumping in the car, so don't know if that was a planned move or not.
Yeah, because there's... Oh, was that just the shape of a penalty?
Nah, there's no penalty there, so definitely didn't clear the pit of Scully, yeah. Alex Durnez, something's gone wrong, absolutely. Unfortunately, those guys haven't changed seats, and Kevin's still in the car, so those guys are going to need to jump back into the kits. It's going to cost an awful amount of time as Kevin trying to get some moves done to avoid that loss, but yeah, he's going to have to...
Yeah, so Vinci just got past there, so that is technically for, well, not technical about it, that is for position. As we see Zovinch coming into the pits. That's totally left me stunned there. I was looking up and down for Crossland there, Kane. I was worried
action in the pits, John, yeah.
How did that happen? That looked like a tyre light. You can't make contact in the pits, can you?
That's just before the pit line there. Just before, driver behind, I'm not too sure who that was. Must be possibly or Chris Davies maybe. A couple of drivers in the pits there, but that's not going to be good just before the pit stop, so those guys are going to have to assess that damage, get that changed. There's another driver, bit of a cork there, bit of a stop in the track. Plenty going on here, John, as the hour mark just ticks over.
Yes, indeed, just over the hour mark, just over the halfway mark, and there's absolutely no way I'm keeping up with everything that's happened. I did have bold ambitions, but nope, forget it. Charlie Crossland not coming back out there for Kevin Scully, totally threw me for a 6 there. That is going to be an absolutely painful when Crosspatch is still up in the front and carrying that 10-second penalty. 14 minutes remain for the teams that have not pitted as yet. 75 minutes is the pit stop. In fact, let me just double check, because I'm sure one of my notes says, see, pit stop 75 minute stint, and one of the other ones says 70. I'm not entirely sure. I've taken 2 sets of notes, but never mind, because Szymanski, he doesn't care about any of that. He is looking to get the job done. Oh, and they have, so what's that? Oh, is Denise coming to the pits? No.
Got plenty of action here to keep track of. John in the pits. Ferreira into the pits, Solis into the pits, França into the pits, Phillips, Greaves, Scatola, Cheyenne Karach, and Gargona all in the pits. Denise Pope now in the pits. Contact again here, Scully. Check up to see who that was with. Scully possibly with some back markers there. Yeah, getting amongst it. Maybe a bit of frustration there with that driver change not getting performed.
Yeah, indeed, and I am getting, yeah, so I'm getting 2 different names for that as well. So Danielle Capuzzo then. Oh yeah, there we go, that is shown. What is going on there? So Danielle fighting for position here as well. Oh! That is the end of that race for Alberto. Ah, Siamo Nel chilling as well. Unfortunately made contact there with Capuzzo. Both teams have made their pit and driver swap, and that's going to play right into the hands of Szymanski then. So that is definitely position gain there. Kevin Scully still showing some absolutely supreme pace, but it's going to be getting very close. So I'm thinking a guesstimate, Kane, would be some kind of issue with not hitting the button properly to perform the driver swap in the pit stop. As prescribed. It is a bit of a tricky procedure from what I've heard. I have to admit I haven't tried one myself or watched the educational video that tells you. Comes past the pits once again, does Kevin, although we're showing the kind of pace that he's showing, he's probably as well to stay out perhaps, trying to extend that gap before Charlie takes over. Still got Tom Davidson then. He has come into the pits for mostly Mozzarella Motorsports. And we see him in the Ferrari. His way out, and is that Black Goldsaw. Race leader Kane, you're sacked, I'm sacked. Race leaders come into the pits and swap drivers, and we haven't even paid attention. Although it does still say Black Goldsaw. It is green, so you would expect that to change as he crosses the pit line.
Clicks over now, so Alex Phillips now in the driver's seat of that lead car. So plenty of pit stops done, John. Only 3 left to go. One of that, Jack Wilkins, with that 10-second penalty as well. So
yeah, that's going to be a massive drop down the order. Jack Wilkins, yeah, still to take his pit stop. The only 2 drivers to pit, of course, are Scully and Renendito, who will be unleashing Cornelius into the wild. It's Tommaso Savio then, looking to make very quick work indeed. Of course, from the team, a box from KTM, Kane, and they're quite a new team as well, I've heard. Did I throw you under the bus there, mate? Let me... What did I do with that?
No, this is the first team racing. Sorry, John.
Yes.
First time racing as a team. Previously, these guys have raced against each other, so know all about their track prowess. Yeah, guys doing very well.
Indeed they are. They've started in ACC about a year ago. Marco raced in Racing Club International RCI Endurance Series. Since then, well, Tommaso has mainly raced in shorter league races. They both take part in the event at the last minute without any expectation, just looking to have fun. And their car selection was 100% sound related, but the old Nissan didn't disappoint in quality. So box from KTM then, as we see Tomas Sevilla up to 12th position, leaving Pete Greaves' teammate just behind him. Oh, sorry, Georgie Phillips just behind, and that is showing all kinds of wrong information now. The driver swap does play havoc with with the broadcast deal, so it may take a lap or two for that to catch back up. So if I say a driver's name and we'll look at someone different, please excuse my blushes. We can't get on board though. Well, Jorge Phillips. Is that Pete Greaves he has just behind him, Kane? Because... oh no, it's Ian. Of course it's Ian. Whoops. Sorry, Ian. That is Pete Greaves' teammate in the car now. Ian Hall. He himself, no slouch in the racing world. Oh, look at that. Just as I say that, pops it inside. He's actually a BenQ Challenger Cup semi-finalist. I'm not sure he expects to dine out on that though. EEMC champion, OTL amateur champion. He's also a carnivore, a covered racer, and wears Factor 50. So an all-round carnivorous grey Aston Martin driving guy there. And he's just got the move done on Rock Murray. And he is moved up to, or Jorge Phillips, see this is Jorge Phillips, sorry, he's just got the move done on Jorge Phillips to move up to 13th place. Kane, I need to keep looking at one screen because it still says to me
Jorge Phillips, of course, Harry Phillips's teammate there, so the drivers did start down in 31st. They are up, still in 14th position, so yeah, huge moves for those guys. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to get used to the teammates' names out there for a couple of laps, John, but Alex Phillips in that SOP number 222 car is still out in front. And the questions were asked before whether he had the pace there to hold off the drivers behind. We are going to find out soon enough. We'll wait for a couple of pit stops to still be cleared. Get those drivers out. Need Kevin Scully, see what's going on there and get that driver change happy, get Charlie in the car very soon.
Yeah, getting very, 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 very close to that window of opportunity to pass by. You definitely don't want it to pass you by because it will be, I'm sure it's a straight up DQ, so yeah, Charlie will definitely be itching to get in the car very, very soon. 6 minutes remain of the maximum allotted 75-minute driver time, and it looks, Kane, the way it's played out, that you and I did all that research on two-stop strategies and everyone's just gone for a straight swap in the middle, one full stint each.
Of course, only because we mentioned a two-stop.
That's why.
If there's no mention of two-stop, there's definitely that strategy out there, I'm sure. But yeah, the guys just settling on the one-up stop, splitting the race in half pretty much for the majority of the drivers. Getting the co-driver into the car out there and settled for what is final 51 minutes of the race, John. So,
oh, Evan running a bit wide there, Denise's teammate. He's got the car up to 18th, and it's Evan half-ass.
We've got some news in the chat, John. Kyle Harris providing the update. Crossland isn't available for Scully. So unfortunate news there. Jens has been contacted and possible time penalties added at the end for that infraction of no driver change. So yeah, all the right people have been contacted, and we will see Kevin Scully in this Ferrari for the remainder of the race. What position he will finish based on that end penalty is yet to be seen, John. But yeah, really unfortunate there for both teams.
Yeah.
For both teammates, Charlie not being available and Kevin soloing the scheduled 2 driver event. So yeah, it's definitely not what Kevin had in mind leading it in the start of this race, I'm sure.
No, indeed, a 2-hour stint is definitely going to be some work. We've got the action lighting up now though, as the new drivers take over. Daniel Clift, of course, mostly Mozzarella Sport. We saw battling very close to the front. Disqualified for driving the wrong way. We just had a DQ. We've just had a car disqualified. I missed what number that was, Kane. If you could bring me up to date on what number that was, use your magic ways to see what number that was. I was too busy looking in disbelief at what I was reading. Let's have a look at the front of the field though. There's Alex Phillips. No disbelief that he's leading the race. His teammate Black Goldsaw took the bull by the horns, took Misano under his wing and absolutely annihilated the competition to get himself and his teammate a very, 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 very healthy lead. Kevin Scully is currently in second position. But due to an absence of a teammate, there will be a fairly healthy time penalty added at the end of the race for Kevin, which will presumably, and pretty much guaranteed, promote Szymanski then for Team SOP, the team that were on the front row of the grid along with their teammates Phillips and Goldsaw. Car number 822 then receiving a penalty for causing a collision, and that, Kane, is Hubert Szymanski. That is incredible stuff so far, and just talking about how Scully's going to suffer from a time penalty, Szymanski has now got himself a time penalty, and FSPT Team Danny are in the driving seat to take second position out of no place.
Yeah, from 6th position, FSPT Team Denny. What a mouthful they've set up for us there. Of course, the team with the exact same qualifying times. Just an update on that the disqualification, John. That's the number 18 Rinaldi Ferrari with Pierre Ferrone in that at the moment. So didn't catch exactly what occurred there, but yeah, those guys sitting in the pit stop now disqualified. So unfortunate end to their race.
Indeed, and everyone's so in. Yeah, not the way you would envisage ending a race like this. Yeah, disqualification then, and another penalty coming in for causing a collision. So the drivers then, it looks like the outlap tyres and the driver changes not being courteously kind to a lot of our teams then. Sabia in the Nissan for a box from KTM. He is definitely lighting up the timing boards at the moment. Oh, getting himself on using all the track he can. It does look like there's a bit of damage up the inside of that car. Looks like he's definitely got more pace than Toledo at the moment, and will look to get past sooner rather than later. So that is, I believe, all the pit stops done and dusted. All driver changes, apart from of course Kevin Scully, have taken place. Sabia then, looking very closely on Carbone. Runs it magnificently wide there. Will he get the cut back? Will the camera change? There we go. Looking to make a move there. Not quite getting close enough, but definitely going to use the exit fully there, coming along the start-finish line. Lap number 46. So at least another 35 laps to go for our intrepid drivers here at the Half-Bath Gaming MayDay Parade, brought to you by, of course, Rapid Drivers Club. 35 teams, 70 drivers for 2 hours. Oh, the Nissan very quick there. Oh, was that a slight contact there? Might have been the slightest of touches there, but the Nissan definitely the faster of the 2 cars. Gets the move done up to 11th place then. I got that move done slightly sooner than I thought. But hanging on there, so the Nissan making up places, don't know where that came from, and will be after Tico next, the T2 Motorsports driver in that stunning Ferrari. Currently holding on to 10th position with Daniel Clift now for Mostly Mozzarella Motorsport. There we go. In 10th, Nicolo Carato, the driver for Dynamis Esports, now in that Lamborghini we've seen so much action with earlier on in the broadcast. Let me just get rid of that and make that go away. There we go. Kieran Sharp then is the driver for OTL Racing, currently in 7th position. 6th is Paulo Moscaguere for GP Racing, of course, in the Mercedes that had the 10-second penalty. Cornelius Filbinger, corn and carrots in the Bentley. We go, carrots all over the Bentley as well. Hadn't actually noticed that as yet. Sorry, Cornelius. He's currently running in 5th, so great first stint by Renadito to get them up into that position. Capuzzo then is the man currently running in 4th for FSPT Team Danny. A lot of flashing lights going on in the background there, because that is not the man in 2nd place, so that is a back marker that Daniel's trying to get past there. Szymanski then, 10-second penalty, going to have to come into the pits to serve that, and then Kevin Scully going to get themselves a time penalty for Charlie Crossland being unable to take over the driver stint, so it's going to be a breach of time for Scully, so could well get kicked out of the game actually. Oh no, well that's him gone over the stint. So that's the 75 minutes done and dusted, and Scully's still on track, so it does look like it's going to be a rather healthy time penalty at the end. Alex Phillips then, the leader of the race, being held up a bit by back markers who are battling it out for position themselves, Kane, and this is one of the joys of a track this length. 1 minute 35 a lap, the average between all our teams, and yeah, it could certainly bring other drivers into it very, very quickly indeed.
Absolutely, John, yeah. Obviously 43 minutes still left to play here. Watch as the co-drivers still settling into their rhythm at the moment still, so yeah, Zavetsky, a 10-second penalty is going to cause all sorts of havoc. Kevin Scully's penalties there, so we're looking quite down the field before we see our true positions at the moment. Yeah, very, very interesting. Alex Phillips still keeping that Bentley out. Very solid out in front, John.
Yes, he is. Just getting himself past Smoke there. Who we mentioned earlier on. Toledo still looking very, very quick indeed. Clift just ahead of him. The two Ferraris definitely been in the wars and still intent on battling it out all the way to the end. And one of them's on wide, and that is going to be a side-by-side Code Brown situation. Bust out the brown flags. Oh, I tell you what, he's got it done. Oh, I tell you what, Ian Hall then is going to say thank you very much as well. And he is absolutely going to pounce. He's going to have his nose in front going into the braking zone. Absolutely takes control of that corner and takes the position for meet and run veg. So they have been promoted now to 12th position, with Clift dropping back down to 13th. Can't Ian Hall get the way? Oh, and there's a car in the middle of the road, and he's held his brakes there. Oh, tell you what, talk about Code Brown and brown flags, Kane. That was, yeah, that would have been a bit of a fright for the drivers at this stage in the race.
Absolutely not what they want to see there. Plenty of speed, that section of the track. Not what they want to see at all. So, John, have a couple of glitches on my end, just coming good now, so a bit distracted there.
Squirrel.
Back on track, everything's running smoothly again. We're all good. We can continue on with the action. Still 41 minutes left, John.
Indeed there is, indeed there is. You like the way I got the squirrel reference in. Come on, tell the truth, you're impressed. How hard is Kieran laughing now, do you think? Yes, there is 41 minutes left to go. Ian Hall and Toledo then, the two drivers on the charge at the moment. Sergio getting the moves done on Daniel Clift and finding themselves trying to hunt down Tico, who is in 9th. Still got a fair chunk up the road, still 6 seconds ahead there. But the lap times these guys are showing, it could well be game on in about 10 laps time. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. Alex Phillips is the man, still off and running in the lead of the race in the Bentley, handed the torch by his SOP Esports teammate, Black Goldsaw, who also makes the liveries as well. And yeah, absolute cracker it is as well. I believe there were some last minute adjustments made to this one for today's race. But yeah, looking stunning nonetheless. That's Kevin Scully who's currently in second, penalties permitting. Szymanski is in third, penalties permitting, and Daniel Capuzzo is in fourth, depending on other people's penalties. So it's still a battle for the top three. We're just not sure whether it's going to be a battle that's fought out on track or over pit stop time penalties. Ian Hall then coming out for meet and one veg. Still looking like he's keeping pace very nicely with Toledo in the Ferrari. And of course we have Valeron, Radek Valeron, sorry, let me get that right. Slow Racing Team. Not entirely sure that name is correct given the pace he's just shown there to get the overtake. Oh no, so he's in the Bentley, sorry. Oh! A bit unfortunate there. The Ferrari Szymanski just coming round, so Valeron does make his way through. It was Rajakorpi, sorry, in the Audi that he was battling it out with there. A bit of double contact, and off he goes. Ian Hall still the man entrenched in a battle here. Sergio Toledo is the man in the middle with Sabia just up ahead of him, Kane. So this is the battle for the last position in the top 10. And given the pace that these guys are showing, if I'm reading this correctly, they're all lapping very, very, very close to one another. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a nip and tuck one between the Nissan, the Ferrari and the Aston Martin.
It sure will, John. Like you say, these guys lapping very, very close together. Off-field lapping very close together at the moment. Alex Phillips doing that job still out in front, holding off Kevin Scully, who we keep coming up against these slight little problems we're going to find at the end of the race. Kevin Scully, no driver to cross to, unfortunately, today, so doing a solo trip. Ooh.
Yeah, that is some action going on there. Sorry, I was looking at another screen there. We are watching Sabia, Toledo and Ian Hall all battle it out then. Sabia who's retaken 10th position. Toledo was 10th there. Ian Hall's going to look to go round the outside in turn 1, but brings it back in. Turn 2, it gets very, very, very close indeed. So Sabia then secures that position. But it's Toledo then under all kinds of trouble here. I don't think he was making moves up the field. Oh, and I tell you what, I thought we'd get some clever bumper cam there, and we won't, because Ian has gone round the inside, outside, through the death chicane hairpin, as I like to affectionately call it, and he's getting himself around the outside. So once again, then he's got his nose ahead going into the braking zone. Just this time he's on the outside. It's the Ferrari that holds the inside line well on the brakes there. He's got a load cell pedal, I'll guarantee you that, as he closes in. Come into the back section. Oh, and look how much later Ian is on the brakes there. It's very close. Manages to control it as well, so closes the gap beautifully there as well. So it will be, that's not the camera one, there we go. That's the one we're trying to see, as we can see Ian in the background there. Very close. And Kane, you were going to give us we're going to talk some about the qualifying position, because of course there's two members of each team. Both members of the team had to set a qualifying time, and then that was averaged out, meaning, well, giving rise to such conversations as can Alex Phillips hold on to the gap from the drivers in front?
Yes, so we already touched on some very quick and very closely matched drivers with the Team Denny. Exactly the same qualifying times. A couple of the other teams not so much. Siamo now chilling, probably one of the biggest gaps there. Filippo Borgeson, the lead driver, doing the first stint, actually had the second fastest qualifying time, whereas his partner Alberto Persisco down in 15th. So still plenty of drivers, still very fast there, but just a bit of a gap, half a second or more between those guys' pace. Of course, the big difference we have talked about was Black Goldsword with that absolute flying 32.28. His SOP Esports Racing teammate, Alex Phillips, No slouch himself, as we know, did set the 9th fastest time. So definitely in the top 10 there, but as we touched on earlier, it's definitely one of the reasons to watch how far Black Goldsaw could get himself out in front, as Alex Phillips on qualifying pace actually down 1.2 seconds. Alex has got those
Sorry,
Alex has got those. Yeah, Alex has got those times. Last lap time of a 34.6. Not too sure whether my timing board is showing the best car time there. John may be able to update me. That
yeah, that is just
is
showing.
still,
Yeah, that's still showing Goldsaw's time. Yeah.
Black Goldsaw's. So yeah, that's the team best time. Alex Phillips, like we say, still doing the job there at the moment, but he's going to have some dramas later on in the race, possibly.
Indeed he is, indeed he is. So yeah, run down of the qualifying times there, and yeah, big spread between some of the teammates and the drivers, as I'm sure Kane pointed out. But we do have, as I said, 33 minutes still left to go. All the drivers have taken their pit stops, their mandatory pit stops, bar Kevin Scully did come into pits, but no driver to take over. Oh, there's another drive-through penalty comes through as well. So I'm just talking about the pit stops because they are still going to come into play, even though we have 99.9% of our drivers that have taken their pit stop. We've got Szymanski currently in third, got 10 seconds to serve in the penalty, with Mori to serve 5, Tafas to serve 5 seconds as well, and I believe we have, why can't I see, we should have someone else to take a drive-through penalty. It's Chiochi, sorry I couldn't see that far down there, sorry, Chiochi then for Fifi Team Racing has a drive-through for track limits as well, so 4 drivers are going to have to come back in to the pits. And as we discussed earlier, that will really damage any hopes of finishing up the table, given how much time coming into the pits takes. It's going to take about 48 seconds for Szymanski then, with his 10-second penalty. That is roughly what he's going to be looking at. Let me just do some quick maths. If he gets in slicking out again, 46 seconds is going to be how much time Szymanski loses coming back into the pit. So it's going to drop him well down the order. Mori and Tafas are going to lose about 41 seconds, so they're going to drop well down the order as well. So there's going to be a lot of free promotions come at the end of the race, but that is still another 32 minutes away. And the way the penalties have been getting handed out so far, we could well see more get dished out. Oh, the Ferrari gets very close there, up the inside of the penultimate turn, doesn't quite manage to get the pace. Oh, and the Bentley very aggressively closes the door, and Ian Hall says thank you very much indeed. He is going to be very close.
Sorry John, just a little correction on those time penalties there. The guys won't in fact have to come into the, to come into the pits, as Alex Phillips avoids a little bit of carnage in front of him. Awfully well gets that Bentley through that. So that time penalty will just be added to the race finish. So Szymanski needs to finish 10 seconds or more in front of Caruso to hold that third position on the podium.
Yeah, indeed. So there we go then. So Szymanski then can get the foot down, he can't hold on to it. Drama going into the last stage. It's carry 8, it's cleared his drive through then, so Mori and Tafas then, well, will they lose positions? It doesn't look like they will. So it's all down to Szymanski then, just to keep it on track. That's what we're looking for in his SOP Ferrari. Phillips then is the man leading the race, as we've said. Scully probably going to be something like 180 seconds of penalty that gets added So that is going to be at least a lap or two that gets chucked on, I believe. So that is going to absolutely kill Scully's podium chances and definitely give Szymanski all the chance in the world. There's Capuzzo then, still fighting out for the podium as well, even though he's in fourth with the penalties ahead. The podium is definitely on the cards for FSPT Team Danny in my beloved Ferrari. And Cornelius Filbinger as well, Kane. He looks like he could be getting promoted to fourth.
Yeah, John. Those guys out there, Rennie at the start, lead drive, done a fantastic job to get them up the field there, keep them up the field as well, and Cornelius in the car now, keeping it very solid. Yeah, in fifth position, good chance to improve as well.
He certainly will. Like I say, those penalties up ahead are going to be absolutely havoc, and I'm sure there's going to be a few stewards' inquiries after the race as well. So I don't envy them their task. I get to go and have a Peroni and a pizza after this. Well, they'll be trawling through some footage. I'm sure Ian Hall then still trying to get past Toledo then with Sabian just up in front. So Sabian not managing to take advantage of the pace, although we can see the gap between his bonnet and his bumper. So he's definitely sporting a bit of damage. That's going to cost his aerodynamics. Ian once again getting very close. He will be very keen to get this move done for Team Meat and One Veg. Absolutely fantastic team. We saw Jan Kosbach, of course, racing earlier for JP Racing. It's actually that team's first event. They're completely noobs in terms of team racing. Jan and Paolo are the two teammates, and they don't even know each other. They literally met in the looking for a teammate in Discord. So there you go, that is how you get a teammate. Come along to RDC, Rapid Drivers Club, get onto Discord. You find yourself a teammate and be racing in events like this, Jimothy. That's all you need to do, bud. Get yourself a wheel and jump on. I read your message. So yeah, you'll be a welcome addition to the fold. I was going to talk about something else there, Kane, but my mind has gone completely blank. Ooh, Ian Hall then says, thank you very much for the mistake. Up the inside, round the outside. Oh, and the Ferrari catches himself a bit much dirt. So there we go then. Ian Hall, he did look like he was going to get the move done. And it is the slightest of mistakes by Toledo. And Ian Kane is off and running, and he's in 10th position. He'll be looking for a 9th.
Absolutely, John. He will certainly keeping that Bentley very slick today. Those guys have done a great job to move up the field as well, John. Started in 21st position with Pete Greaves. Yeah, currently in 10th position, like I say. Definitely be looking to improve on that and break in, well inside the top 10 with that 9th come out to Master Sabia in front.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he definitely looks like he could close the gap there as well. So interesting times ahead. Of course, this is the MayDay Parade, sponsored by Half Fast Gaming. Your go-to for all things American Truck Simulator modding, including instruction and high-quality mods available through Patreon. Half Fast Gaming is also newly affiliated with the SimGrid and are offering America's friendly racing times coming very soon. Joining Discord will get you all the updated information. So thanks very much to Half Fast Gaming for sponsoring the event. Thank you very much to Rapid Driver for putting on. It's been an absolute cracking hour and a half so far. The closing 30-minute stages, the last stint. We've got a couple of drivers got to get time penalties. We see the battered and bruised Sabia in the Nissan Kane. You've got to think at this stage of the race it's going to be very difficult for him to keep Ian Hall behind him, given, as we can see there, that bit of damage on the front of his car, the gap between the bonnet and the bumper, an aerodynamic nightmare in these machines, and especially with back markers as well. You think it's definitely game on for Ian to get himself up to 9th.
Yeah, John, we touched on just before, definitely showing some pace in that Bentley. Got the Nissan in front of Thomas Sabia. Say slightly closing the gap, those times yo-yoing as well. It's going to be one brilliant finish to this race. Still 25 minutes to go.
Net code. yeah, having a few netcode issues there. Sorry, as you can see the car's just teleporting about a bit. I don't have control of the cameras quite at this moment, so we'll hope we don't see. Oh, and there we go. Ah, that's not good. I can't change off that. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let me just
got more than one issue out there at the moment, John.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think. So yeah, let me just try and be semi-professional. Let's see if we can. Give us 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back. Well, there we go then, folks. An unfortunate end to what was shaping up to be an amazing end. We have had some server issues, which have meant the drivers have disconnected, and we're having a bit of difficulty reconnecting. In fact, I can't reconnect at all. But unfortunately, this one is going to mean that the stewards are even busier than we first anticipated, Kane. That is, not the way we hope to go out, but yeah, but unfortunate. But that's what happens sometimes in sim racing.
Yeah, that is sim racing, John. So we don't have engine failures, we have server issues. Definitely a very unfortunate end to what was a cracking race. 2 hours scheduled here at Misano. We got more than 3/4 of the way through that, I believe. Just hearing from race control now, server crash 3/4 into the race, positions will be held, race is over. So very unfortunate getting that news live and up to date. Thank you very much for the chat there. So yeah, very unfortunate end of the race, but very spectacular race. Anyway, John.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Some cracking action from start to finish from our 35 teams of 2 drivers. Or sorry, 34 teams of 2 drivers and Kevin Scully. But yes, indeed. Sorry. Probably shouldn't laugh at that, but yeah, so Kevin was left alone. But yeah, we did have 35 teams on track, and it is an SOP victory then. Alex Phillips did hold off the competition to take first place, and we'll let the stewards work out the penalties for the rest of the drivers due to our rather unceremonious ending. Of course, the event was sponsored by Half Fast Gaming. They're your go-to for all things American Truck Simulator modding, including instructions and high-quality mods available through Patreon. Half Fast Gaming is also newly affiliated with the SimGrid and offering America's friendly racing times coming soon. Join the Discord and you'll get all the updated information. Kind of throws the closing script out the window a bit, Kane. That was what you call an hour and a half. Fantastic stuff from all our drivers. And what a result to round off the spectacular MayDay Parade race brought to you by Rapid Drivers Club and, of course, Half Fast Gaming. Thank you to Rapid Drivers Club for putting on. Thank you to Half Fast Gaming for sponsoring it. Thank you to everyone that typed in the chat, even though I couldn't see it. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved. And of course, thank you to the man that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning to start commentating at 3 o'clock in the morning. It is Kane Denham.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, and a massive congratulations to the SOP team, Alex Phillips and Black Gold Saw taking out the victory here. As always, massive shout out to RDC. Stellar events these guys are organising. And of course, Fast Gaming for all your ATS modding needs, John. Fantastic there. Get involved with everything those guys have got going on over there as well. It's great stuff there, and the trucks. Yeah, anticlimax to the race tonight, but an hour and a half of plenty of action, and yeah, we look forward to bringing you some more in the future.
Indeed, and with that is the checkered flag. It's the first one we've seen this evening, but that is the checkered flag brought down on the parade, and that is the perfect cue for the aforementioned several times Peroni and pizza combo. So I am off to the fridge to pop that oven on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll hopefully see you all soon, and it's a good night from Kane.